Hey guys, Deju22 here, and welcome to a high-stakes matchup. And if I sound any different, it's because I have retainers in my mouth. And I apologize also if there's no music, but for some reason we're having trouble with our music. But it shouldn't be much of a problem. So yeah, I have retainers in my mouth, and if I try to speak too quickly, I'm gonna start to sound like Daffy Duck, if that was even possible. And let me just adjust myself here. Okay, there we go. I think that should do it. So yeah, it's gonna be Tony Bennett, and if I hadn't said this once already, it's a high stakes matchup because this man, Ezekiel Jackson, the nephew of Michael Jackson, has decided to put up his ECW championship on the line against Tony Bennett and his World Heavyweight Championship. So for Ezekiel Jackson, this is his big chance to become the world champion. Let me just turn it up a little bit so you can hear. So, this is going to be high stakes, and forgive me if I sound monotone, but again, I have retainers in my mouth. This is just to keep my smile from collapsing the wrong way. But, hey, I didn't make the rules. My orthodontist did. So yeah, both those titles are on the line, but it's the World Heavyweight Championship that is at stake. It is the World Heavyweight Championship that is the most sought after of the two belts. If Ezekiel Jackson wins, he becomes the World Heavyweight Champion, and Tony Bennett becomes the ECW Champion. Well, he'll take over as the ECW champion, rather. But if Tony Bennett wins, he retains the World Heavyweight Championship, and Ezekiel Jackson loses the ECW title. So that's why this match is high stakes, and as if this could not get any higher, there's also a steel cage that surrounds the ring. $1 million dream onto Ezekiel Jackson. I mean, wouldn't it be something if the nephew of Michael Jackson could just put a feather in his cap and become the World Heavyweight Champion? And a back suplex on a Jackson. And that's the second $1 million dream he's slapped on. I mean, if Tony Bennett can just use submission maneuvers and try to outrun this big man, he's got a good chance to win, especially with the Faymaster. Now that's a good strategy. A hammerlock, chinlock combination to weaken Ezekiel Jackson. If you can try to weaken him as much as you can, great. Or maybe even just climb out the cage. But Tony, okay, he swats away Ezekiel. And a second time, he's climbing out. Ezekiel, he falls down. And could this be the quickest match? Wow. Okay, well, he has to touch the ground to make it official, but if I'm not mistaken, in less than 2 minutes, the champion, the world champion, has retained his The world champion has retained his title in the fastest time in recent memory, and Ezekiel Jackson is no longer the ECW champion. I'll tell you one thing, Tony Bennett was smart. He knew that going up against Ezekiel Jackson, he was not going to win in a fist fight, let alone a brute. He was not going to be able to outslug the big brute. Or how do I say it? He wasn't going to be able to go at the big brute straight up. He had to weaken him just a little bit, just enough to climb out of the cage and remain the champion. Congratulations to Tony Bennett again for retaining his belt. But coming up next, we're going to crown a new ECW champion, and that's coming up right after this.